Night, both sides of the track are very, very tacky walking across. So this is going to be a great night. Nice warm night. I do believe our weather is going to hold out for us, so we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. Buzz and the gang down here that do a great job, and they put their heart and soul into the pull here, and everybody that helps out with the Hillsboro charity pull does a great job. And thank all you fans for sticking with us and coming out here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please all rise, and gentlemen, take off your hats for us. This is something that's that the Hillsboro Charity Tractor Pull does every year for all the veterans here. Saluting veterans from the Vietnam and Cold War era veterans here tonight. And I'm so proud to help Don with this. I'd like to introduce Don Slama. He's the one that started this pull out, and with the whole crew, and Sally and Buzz and everybody here. Let's give him a round of applause. Don?
Coming. It's nice to see you show up in these bad conditions. One of the guys here said, you know, if it ain't raining, you're not training, so these guys are used to crappy conditions. So I'm these guys' generation, and for those of you who don't know or don't care, Vietnam was a really shitty situation for these guys. When they come home, they all come home, they didn't come home as a group, they come home individually flying on an airplane, got dumped off in some airport, and if they was lucky there wasn't some hippie spitting on them or throwing eggs at them. And they just went back into the workforce, went back home and either went farming or whatever they wanted to do, and they survived. This is what makes our country really good. So I'm going to pass it back on to John. He's going to tell a little introduction about each of the guys, and stay standing. And when we're done, give them the warm homecoming that they didn't get.
I'm honored here tonight to introduce each and every one of these veterans here tonight. First veteran, Mr. Gilbert Biskupski from Reedsburg. He enlisted in April 1968. Basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Unit Medevac Bravo 1st Cavalry Division. Served in Vietnam December 1968 to December 1969. Was stationed at LZ Andy, also known as Quan Lu Loy. Ladies and gentlemen, Gilbert Biskupski. Mr. Ken Cook, Army, 4th Infantry, Division served. Served September 15th, 1965 to July 1967. Ken was drafted at the age of 20 and was stationed in Piglu in Central Highlands of Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Cook. Mr. Don Yankee. Mr. Yankee served in the Navy July 13th, 1964 to October 27th, 1967. Don was 17 when he enlisted. Don was an airborne radio operator and a member of the 10-man crew flying on a P-3 Orion 4-engine turboprop airplanes. The P-3 contained an assortment of 10 radios, including an AN, ARC-52 UHF radio, receiver, transmitter, with auto relay control and automatic direction finding. His unit was Patron 22, Crew 10A, stationed in Barbers Point, Hawaii. His unit was later assigned to Adak, Alaska for 6 months with an anti-submarine warfare mission. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Don Yankee. Next is Mr. Patrick Reeby. Mr. Patrick Reeby served in the U.S. Army Special Forces from 1966 to 2006. 28 years, 9 months, with a 15-year break in service, including 11 months in Vietnam. Pat was 19 when he enlisted in the Army in 1966, at the height of the Vietnam War, and was assigned to Base Camp Hayti in the Central Highlands, where his SF team went about winning the hearts and minds of people living in the district. Pat served in Vietnam for 11 months. Vietnam was a very dangerous place for SF soldiers. Pat was one of 27 graduates from Special Forces Engineering School. 25 were sent to Vietnam, only 2 made it home. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patrick Reeby. Mr. Cale Kivestead. Mr. Cale Kivestead was U.S. Air Force jet aircraft mechanic, February 1962 to February 1966. Cale was 18 when he enlisted and served at Luke and Elgin Air Force bases. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cale Kivestead. The next is Mr. Jim Small. Jim? Mr. Jim Small served in the U.S. Army, M60A1 tank mechanic. Served 1976 to 1981 at Fort Carson, Colorado. Jim was 17 when he enlisted. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Small. Mr. Rodney Pash. Mr. Pash served the U.S. Army. He was 21 when he was drafted and served from June 13th, 1966, till he was discharged on May 26, 1968. He was assigned to the 317th Combat Engineer Battalion, Eschborn, Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rodney Pash. A salute to all of our veterans here tonight. One more round of applause. From the hearts here at Hillsboro Charity Tractor Pull, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Tonight, with our colors, riding on Rooster, going to be Jenna Brash here, providing us with our colors here tonight. Jenna, you'd like to take a loop out? I'd like to have a moment of silence for another fallen tractor puller here today. We're here tonight with the Pro Pulling League and the Badger State Tractor Pullers, and we lost one of the greats that was a points champion in the hot farm class. Mr. Mike Meyer passed away today, so a moment of silence, please. It's my honor to introduce the St. Paul's Lutheran Church Choir singing the national anthem for us here tonight.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bolts bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was tremendous. Let's thank all our veterans one more time, too. Well, fans, who's ready to go truck and tractor pulling here at Hillsboro? Not a normal crowd here tonight as the weather kind of scared a bunch of people away, but hey, with all of us that are here, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a great show as we're getting ready to go underway here. My good friend Stacy Butson and Dan Mayer up above there. It's pull time here at Hillsboro.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, John Stranley. And once again, fans, welcome back to the 18th annual Hillsboro Charity Pull. As we get ready to roll here tonight, of course, hats off to the track crew here for the great work getting everything ready to go here tonight. As Mother Nature kind of rained on us all afternoon, basically, for a couple hours. And track crew went right to work here, and you can see we are going to have ourselves just an outstanding program here tonight as we get ready to roll here tonight with 6 classes of PPL Champions Tour competition here tonight, as we will kick off with the Limited Pro tractors over here on the pit side, and then over on the ball field side we'll have the Light Pros. Stacy, you ready to go down trackside? Stacy Butson down there, and he's been working down here all weekend long. You ready to roll here tonight?
Yeah, let's bring it. Boy, I tell you what, that rain we had this afternoon really put a kibosh to that. And we're going to start out with 2 classes that have yet to complete a class here on the Hillsboro clay. limited pro stocks, I believe, are on the infield side, and light pros are on the ball diamond side, I guess they call it. The light pros were within one tractor of having a completed class this afternoon when the rains came. And when they came in a hurry. It wasn't no drawn out affair. As somebody said one time, they said that escalated quickly.
Yes, it did, for sure. And the fans head for the higher ground there, and we kind of got caught in the rain a little bit, but we're ready to go. Looks like the skies have cleared. We're good to go here tonight. An excellent program here for the 18th annual Hillsboro Charity Pull. Now, by a show of hands out there, how many fans have been here for all 18 Hillsboro Charity Pulls? All right, that's pretty good. How about 15 of them? How many have been here? About 15 or so. 10? All right, that's pretty good. How about 5 of them? All right, pretty good. Well, glad to have you all on hand here, and looks like we got our first tractors rolling out here, Stacy.
Yeah, looks like we got a couple of repainted tractors. We got a black Case IH on the light pro side. I got to believe that's Alan Cook out of Wilton, Wisconsin. And I believe we got Craig Ladwig coming in here with the Fent on the infield side. I'm sorry, that wouldn't be Craig. That'd be Adam Stevens with his Case IH Optima 300 here in limited pro stock. Both of them painted black, not from the factory like that.
Yep, so over on the ball diamond side, we'll have our 8,500-pound light pro stock tractors. Over here on the pit side, we'll have our 9,500-pound limited pro tractors here tonight. Great field of both of these classes here, and both run on the Badger State Circuit, as well as the Silver Series with the Pro Bowling League Tour. So glad to have both of these classes on hand here tonight. So Adam Stevens over here on the pit side with the slow ride.
Over on the light pro side, the 88 Series International, Alan Cook. He's been the standard of light pro here, running around the Badger State this summer. He's had just a little bit better turbocharger, they tell me. And I think I know what he's doing. He's like, I'm not really getting a hold of anything here. I think that track's going to get a little bit better after we run another half a dozen tractors down it. He's probably going to turn that down. And that is one of the luck of the draw parts of pulling. And when we get a big rain like that, and they totally rebuild the track, you can see how much dirt's piled up along the sidelines. That was the pulling surface. We're down into something else we hadn't seen yet this weekend. And generally, the track will get a little bit better as the guys start making passes down it, aerating the soil a little bit. And it's just the way it works. It gets a little better. You want to have a late number tonight, at least in these first couple classes. Adam Stevens coming out of Shannon, Illinois, calls it slow ride.
All right, same kind of situation right there. We just saw Adam Stevens going to get out of it here. Kind of the guinea pig, fans. Each and every class starts off with a test puller, and they will have that option whether to take that run, drop 6 positions, or drop the last in the class. And the word over on the light pro side is that they're going to drop the last.
Yeah, so, I'm sure Adam Stevens will do the same thing. And that's perfectly legal what they're doing, but they're doing it because they firmly believe track conditions are going to improve. But what Adam Stevens also did is something nobody else has done. Ran the right-hand side of the track. The guy's been beating the left side to death for the last couple sessions, and he ran her down the right side. Didn't look like it worked too bad.
Yeah, kind of like you said, testing it out. He knew he had a free pass right there, and he says, hey, why not? Let's try that right side of the track.
Yeah, I suppose if your intentions were from the get-go that you weren't going to drive it to the finish, hey, let's aerate the soil over there. But better yet, let's not contribute to the road building on the left-hand side.
Well, tonight we'd like to thank Mount Tabor Mill for sponsoring Super Modifieds, Hurricane Specialized for 10,000-pound pro stocks, Meister Force products for light pro stock tractors, Quick Trip Super Modified two-wheel drive trucks, Meyer Oil and LP for Silver Farm tractors, and Sleepy Hollow Auto Group for limited pro stock tractors. We'll also be giving away a hard luck basket again tonight. We will let you guys know about that here. The candidates receive a first aid kit donated by Amplify Health by Gunderson in Hillsboro, also with a few other goodies involved. So it'll be another hard luck award here tonight.
All right, fans, so over on the light pro stock side, 270.29 for Alan Cook, going to turn that run down and come back last in the class. And then over on the limited pro side, Adam Stevens with the slow ride went 281.01, and he turned down that run. He's going to come back last in the class as well. So right now we got our number 2 hooks here. As looks like next up here in light pro will be the Shag Nasty team out of Iowa. As tonight going to be driven by Mike Eccles. Murray, Iowa, he calls home with this international. Oh, yeah, what a run right there, fans. Let's give a nice round of applause. Mike Eccles, the Shag Nasty. Now, by the luck of the draw, he drew that number 2 spot, kind of not the place to be out there a lot of times. And he says, well, I got it. I might as well do the best I can out there. And a great job over on the right-hand side of the track here with that Shag Nasty. Of course, a tough running tractor last year, finished up real high in the Silver Series points on the PPL circuit. Had some pretty catastrophic engine damage at the end of the season for him, kind of cut him short a little bit. So 3:17.43 will be the mark to beat over on the light pro side. 3:17.43 will be the mark to beat. 3:17.43 is what they'll be shooting for over on the light pro stock side.
Up next will be the special edition of Steve Bausma on the 9500 Limited Pro Stock. Out of Worthington, Minnesota, John Deere 6030 in the Limited Pro Stock class here tonight is sponsored by Sempico. Sempico lubricants are 100% American made.
Oh, yeah. Where's our John Deere fans tonight? Good run there for that John Deere 6030.
Steve Bausma. Sempico Limited Pro Stock Tractor class is the sponsor. Sempico offers a variety of products to serve the farming, trucking, and construction industry, including heavy-duty engine oils, fuel additives, and greases for most demanding conditions. The light Pro Stock side is sponsored by Fair Valley Performance, specializing in service and repair of diesel fuel injection pumps, injectors, and turbochargers for both original equipment stock and high-performance tractor and truck pulling racing applications. So Fair Valley Performance and Sempico Oils are main sponsors for these two classes here tonight in Hillsboro.
All right, well, absolutely. Without those great sponsors, fans, this event would not be able to happen. And once again, we thank those folks for helping out. Put this massive pull on. And John, we talked about that earlier this week, you know, just the equipment, the people that it takes to put an event of this magnitude on. Just unbelievable.
It takes an army, and the track crew here doing their job. As soon as the rain quit, these guys have not stopped until pull time. So they didn't even take a break. We went through opening ceremonies and they jumped back on their equipment, ready to go. All the great food vendors here and everybody donating and helping out is just amazing. 324.19 for the special edition of Steve Bausma. We'll be taking a look at Aaron Giesel out of Heartland, Wisconsin with his case 2290 on Limited Pro Stock side.
Oh, well, John, we got our first victim here tonight at that tough Hillsboro track, taking all the power that you can give it here tonight as Brandon Clark out of Logan, Iowa, with his Rackham John Deere, makes a nice run here. Going to be a little bit short of that 3:17.43. Now, talking about our track here tonight, we got it lined out to 330 feet, about 40 feet wide, or as wide as your normal two-lane highway.
He was the one tractor that didn't get to pull this afternoon in light pro stock, and so he hasn't had a test run on the track, not like anybody has anyway, but he was the one that did not get to pull this afternoon when the rains came in, and came in fast.
All right, so full distance will be 296 and 91. 296 and 91 for Brandon Clark and the Rackham John Deere.
Aaron Gietzel, limited pro stock side out of Heartland, case 2290. Next competitor in limited pro stock.
Of course, 8,500-pound light pro stocks over on the ball field side. 9,500-pound limited pros over here on the pit side. As all the classes in pulling are determined by weight. The only motorsport where weight is an advantage. You go to a drag race or a stock car race, you want to be as light as possible. Well, that doesn't work over here on the pulling side.
Aaron Gietzel hauling it out there. Limited pro stock side, 9,500 pound, 640 cubic inch. They run an all egg chassis, one turbocharger, 4.1 charger on it. It's a little bigger than a 4-inch charger in and out on them. They run the 24/5 tires, and these guys are around 3,000 horse. 2,800, 3,000 horse in that range in this class with a whole lot of torque.
All right, so over on the light pro stock side, we got Mark Cartwright doing the driving here out of Big Bend, Wisconsin. The Alice D21. What a gorgeous looking tractor right here. And no doubt he's going to get some orange paint on there in the coming months. And boy, it's always good to see the D21s out on the circuit. We got a good one right here in light pro.
Aaron Gietzel goes 332.30, 332.30 new leader in limited pro stock action.
All right, so Mark Cartwright going to be followed by Josh Newman, the gray area, and then we'll have Steph Amenville with the About Time International will be our next three up here in the light pro stock class. There's 540 cubic inches underneath the hood of these tractors. They'll run the smaller 24.5-inch wide rear tire. 5 inches over there on the turbo on the outlet side of these light pros. So 3:17.43 right now, the mark to beat, fans, as we've got that international out of Iowa leading the way. Yeah, where's our Alice Chalmers fans? Yeah, what a run. Man, he got a hold of it here tonight. We are going to move that lead distance marker a whole bunch. Wow.
I talked to Mark after it dried out here a little bit, and he told me, he says, I was only about 7,500 RPM from holding it in. I was having trouble holding it in, he says, but I'm going to bend it over tonight. There's no way this thing's not going to run. And he did. Let's give a round of applause, Mark Cartwright. Limited pro stock side. Next competitor is going to be Bill Smith with the high maintenance John Deere out of Darlington, Wisconsin.
All right, fans, so distance for the Alice Chalmers, 3:49.90 new leader. All right, fans, so that Alice Chalmers, Mark Cartwright going to blast into that number 1 spot. We'll put Mike Eccles back number 2 with the Shag Nasty out of Iowa. Great class here at Light Pro Stocks as we run them on through here tonight.
The high maintenance of Bill Smith. He just got this tractor out here a couple of weeks ago. They've been working on it, get the motor put back together and get it back sitting between the frame rails. Got a couple passes on it. We'll see what he can do here tonight. Nice pass, but he was definitely working the motor pretty good down through there.
Fans, you are definitely in for a show here tonight. Boy, that track taking some serious power. And of course, we've got the ultimate in horsepower, 10,000 horsepower modified tractors will be out a little bit later on as they are really going to rip and tear this track up here tonight. Put that power to the ground is over on the Light Pro Stock side. Well, back to the International here is going to be Josh Newman out of Franklin, Wisconsin. He calls it the gray area. Good running tractor here.
.337.34 new leader on the limited pro stock side. Bill Smith, the high maintenance, stepping it out there a little ways.
All right, fans, so we got a correction. Josh Ninneman doing the driving. They got it on the sheet wrong here. So Josh Ninneman doing the driving here in the gray area. We apologize for that. Now going to spot that sled a little bit right of center here. Let's see if the International can get it done. Where's our red fans? Oh, he was dirt tracking it over on the right side there, fans. And I think he may have gone out of bounds. We talked about those white chalk lines out there. Any portion of that pulling vehicle touches that white line, that is a DQ. Now the sled can hit it, anything else can hit it, but that pulling vehicle cannot touch those white lines.
Up next, limited pro stock side, going to be time for one more out of Darien, Wisconsin. None other than Josh Dutton. We'd like to thank Bluffview Farms, Hillsboro Drive-In, Nathan Beulah Farms, Simpico, Hurricane Specialized, Ukuch Dairy, Or New Ingredients, Jay's of Mauston, Chuck Hammer Memorial, Deppie Enterprises, Jones Chevrolet, Poverty Ranch, Ray Zabel and Sons, Rudick Jensen, Salem Ridge Flooring, Shy Diesel, Scott Zerzo, Sleepy Hollow, Wagner Farms, Mike and Brenda Wagner, Whispering Pines Precisions LLC, and Wagon Farms for helping us out. Some of the great sponsors for the Hillsboro Charity Tractor Pull.
All right, fans, so over on the Light Pro Stock side, Josh Ninneman with that gray area. They say he kept it in bounds, so 336 and 55. So number 2 spot for him. All right, fans, well, we have a correction. Josh Ninneman was out of bounds. He was scored as an out of bounds over there on the right side, so we apologize for that. So out of bounds, unfortunately, a good run, 336 and 55, but scored as a DQ over on the right side.
Well, the distance come in here for Josh Dutton. 349.61. We move the leader flag once again. Time for one more. Josh Dutton, new leader, limited pro stock. And I'm thinking, Dan, this track's going to get better and better as we go through the night.
You know, John, we got to kind of talk about how this track here in Hillsboro is built. It's basically two tracks on top of each other.
Yes.
So you got the top track, and then when they peel that off, you know, you're not working with unknown dirt or, you know, underneath this track. I mean, they actually have prepared for this, you know, when this has happened over the years. So, you know, what they're pulling on right now is just as good as what you would see, you know, before the rain came.
And it was walking down there, Dan, you could tell this is going to be a horsepower track tonight. Just walking on that track, the amount of moisture that's in it and how it's glued right back together. And look how these guys here are putting it all right back together, nice and tight, even for all the competitors.
Yeah, one of the best track crews you will see out in the sport of pulling. I'll tell you, as here we go with Steph Fabeville out of Fox Lake, Wisconsin. About time. All right, really good hole shot right there. Really got that sled going. Now, in pulling, we talk about the hole shot, you know, in drag racing, whoever leads first. But here in the sport of pulling, it's how fast you get that sled rolling. That first 50 to 75 feet. You don't get it rolling, not going to make it to the big end of the track. So good run there for Steph. And we'll get the numbers in for her. 294 and 36 will be the distance here. 294 and 36 for the About Time International.
Up next, limited pro stock side, going to be Brad Hartman driving the Hellraiser International Addiction. Current leader 349.61 on the limited pro stock side.
Yeah, I caught Brad going down the hill earlier, getting to the scales, and actually had a steering issue with the tractor, so we're kind of concerned about that. The rack and pinion had a little bit of a leak in it. Once those front tires come up, you basically take that steering wheel and throw it away.
Just another handle to hold on to, that's all. These guys here reaching down in the gearbox a little bit lower. And on the light pro stock side, they're running way up on the old tachometer tonight. See a little bit of oil pushing out the bottom of his tractor, but not a big deal. It's just extra oil. It was on the top end of the motor, and all the crankcase pressure ends up pushing it out. Don't hurt it at all.
All right, fans, so over on the light pro stock side, we start to wind things down. Just two tractors, three left to go here. Adam Lunau and the one bad binder out of Indiana. Then Colin Burkholz will be up next. And then he'll be followed by Alan Cook, our test puller that turned down his first run. And we'll send it down trackside there with Stacy after we run our Adam Lunau one bad binder. Kewanna, Indiana. Once again, chasing that 349 and 91 right now. That Alice Chalmers, he's way, way out there.
337.11 for Brad Hartman with the Hellraiser International Addiction. And we'll see Matt Angel out of Marcells, Indiana, driving the Green Mule limited pro stock here.
Oh, what do you say, international fans? Yeah, good run. As we'll send it down, Stacy Butson in the winner's circle as we've got the rained out winner's circle.
Yeah, these guys got their class in this afternoon. The light super stocks did. And our winner this afternoon, Brian Howe, out of Centralia, Kansas, with the big temptation. Boy, what a weekend for you, Brian. Second place last night, a win today. You got the buckle, and the points lead heading in, one pull to go.
Yep, we did really well this weekend. Normally, we might get one decent hook, and that's it. But we were able to put two back-to-back and come away with the buckle this weekend.
That's pretty good. Now, it was last year you had the championship in your pocket and you broke the rear end.
Yeah, we had a planetary seize up on us on the last hook of the year up here, and needless to say, that whole rear end and planetary assembly got switched out this winter, and we just did a little preventative maintenance and checked everything over before we come up here this weekend.
And you got one last hook. That's at the Scheid. Is that what you said?
No, Mexico, Missouri here in about 3 weeks.
Okay. Have you got other pulls between now and then?
One other hook with another organization.
Are you going to go, or are you going to let it save it for Mexico?
We'll probably go. We got 2 weeks to fix it, so.
All right, I like your thinking. Well, congratulations, Brian Hogg, and I'm glad you guys had a great temptation vacation.
Thank you. Thanks for everybody, all the fans and awesome track crew here. They did an amazing job from this afternoon to this evening to get this ready to go.
Thank you much, Brian. Congratulations. I'll be looking for your results from Mexico, Missouri. Your champion, Brian Hogg, the Big Temptation Case.
Oh, getting every last inch of the green mule.
Now fans over on the light pro stock side, distance comes in here for the one bad binder, Adam Lunau, 3:59 and 60. We got a new leader. So we're going to stretch it out another 10 feet over on the light pro stock side. As Colin Burkholz out of Wilton, Wisconsin will be up next. His international 14:56 strong runner right here. And then, of course, Alan Cook will be coming back with Black Thunder. So hang on, fans. Well, we know it's going to be an international. It's a matter of which one it's going to be here as we wind down our light pro stock class.
333.43 for Matt Angel, 333.43. Next competitor, limited pro stock side, will be the limited edition of Mike Bausma out of Worthington, Minnesota. Current leader, 3:49 and change, held by Josh Dutton. Time for one more on limited pro stock side.
All right, fans, so currently top three over on the light pro stock side. Adam Lunau, one bad binder out of Indiana, leading the way, 3:59 and 60. We've got Mark Cartwright, that Alice Chalmers sitting number two at 3:49 and 91. Oh, man. Colin Burkholz, boy, he was on a run there down that right sideline. Not sure what happened there, if he had to touch the brake or what happened. Yeah, they're calling for a tow tractor, so definitely some issues there for Colin. Fans, let's give a nice round of applause. Good run.
He was on the rails, too. He was going for it.
All right, fans, so the numbers come in for Colin Burkholtz and the International 1456, 323 and 74, 323.74. Well, that will move him right into a podium spot there, number 3 spot for Colin here tonight, as Alan Cook will be our final hook here in the light pro stock class.
Mike Bausma out of Worthington, Minnesota, the limited edition. Sitting at the starting line, ready to go to work. Limited pro stock action.
Yeah, the limited edition here. We got the John Deere 4000. Don't see a whole lot of those.
Well, he was working the brake hard to keep that thing from going out of bounds over here on the left-hand side. Definitely affected his... You know, Dan, we watched all the sessions already. How they followed this left-hand side. Now tonight, over here, they're kind of down the middle. And then he comes over here, Bausma comes over here, and he's pounding on that right brake to keep it in.
Yeah, the John Deere 4000, the limited edition, like you're alluring to, Dan. When they came out with the John Deere 4000, it was a cost-effective alternative to the 4020. Some guys will say, well, it's a cheap 4020 is what it is. But it came out with half the hydraulics, lighter axle housings, and a little lighter on the price tag, too, to make it competitive.
And I don't know the exact number, but there was only a certain amount of them made. It was a very small number that was made of that. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what that number is, but I know there wasn't too many of them made, so.
I'll have to look up my Heritage Iron magazine. I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Start digging now, Stacy. Start digging.
339.04. 339.04 for Mike Bausma. Puts him unofficially in the second spot. Third so far is the high maintenance. Your leader, time for one more, Josh Dutton. Fourth going to be Hellraiser. Green Mule sitting in fifth. That is a top 5 for Limited Pro at current time.
And the John Deere 4000 limited edition, they were limited numbers, 7,987 of them produced.
Wow, look at that, right off the top of his head.
Stacy Scoop Butson. He's got the scoop.
Oh, wait. You see the hand.
I got Railbird Kim down here helping me out.
We knew that didn't come off the top of his head.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, definitely. Yeah. He can't remember what the grocery list was he's supposed to get.
The only thing that comes off the top of my head is my hair. You know, I got that wavy hair. It's been waving goodbye for years now.
All right, here we go, fans. Final tractor, Alan Cook, the Black Thunder. And he's going to drive it off in the sunset. Wow, what a run. Alan Cook. Now, we talked earlier this week about Alan, you know, all the championships over the years, and actually this year was able to get the big carrot there down at the National Farm Machinery Show. The championship tractor pull down in Louisville, was able to win it this year. And this is going to be a good one. We'll get the numbers in right away for Black Thunder.
And Dan, that was his dad that we saluted here tonight. Ken Cook was his father that we saluted, one of the veterans here tonight. On the Limited Pro Stock side, out of Jefferson, Wisconsin, going to be Tom Gallitz running in the red. And folks, this tractor is for sale.
John, you save some money. Save your money up, and you'll be able to buy this thing.
All right, fans, it's a walk-off home run over on the light pro stock side. 377.63, your winner here tonight. Alan Cook, Black Thunder, gets it done here tonight. So we'll get our top 5 all sorted out here, and we'll get them to the winner's circle here tonight. So we'll take top 3 to the winner's circle.
Wow, I ain't seen that in a long time. Just destroyed the left wheel on that tractor. Just come apart. You fans can't see it on the other side, but this thing come apart and the motor went right upstairs. I haven't seen that in a long time. Too much horsepower I'm adding it to.
Yeah, twisting them wheels out there. Fans, let's give him a tough luck round of applause. He's got his helmet off. He can hear you now.
Yeah, we'll need the telehandler out here to get him off the track. And it didn't rip out of the center. It ripped out of the dish area, which is kind of unusual also. I haven't seen him come apart in that particular area. But boy, it tore it up. It's junk.
And that's Nick Gallett's doing the driving, as we had a little misprint on our sheet. I'm assuming Tom's probably running red hot. Tough break for Nick Gallett's running in the red.
All right, fans, so we'll get our Ball Diamond side track all ready to go here for the Super Farms. 9,300-pound Super Farms will be up next. But finishing up in the number 5 spot, Light Pro Stock side, will be Mike Eccles with the Shag Nasty. 4th tonight will go to Colin Burkholz with the International 1456. 3rd spot will go to Mark Cartwright with that Alice Chalmers D21. 2nd tonight will be Adam Lunow and the One Bad Binder. And our winner here tonight, Alan Cook and Black Thunder out of Wilton, Wisconsin, will get it done. So we'll need our top 3 to the winner's circle, as Stacy Buxton will have the plaques from down there.
I think I know what happened to Nick Gallett's rear rim. That baby's so shiny. They got that so polished up. They might have took a couple thousands off it and made it a little thin. That's just my theory. I don't know.
I think Scoop fell off the rails now.
Yeah, I'm gonna call bogus on that one.
That's
Scoop
bogus.
Yeah, all credibility he'd earned all weekend long, right there.
Yeah, right down the tubes. Well, hopefully he does a little better job for us throughout the
He'll
night.
make up for it.
Yeah, he'll make
up
up. Oh,
for
yeah.
it.
Well, he did get the scoop, though. It's broke. It's junk.
All right, so we're going to roll on here. 9,300-pound Super Farm tractors will be up next over on the Ball Diamond side track here tonight, as Dan Castenson out of Union Grove, Wisconsin, going to get us started. The Gold Rush. Minneapolis Bowling. Don't see a whole lot of mini-mows in Super Farm, and this is a tough one right here, as he will be our test puller here tonight. Now, 9,300-pound Super Farms, 640 cubic inches underneath the hood, one single turbocharger. It's 3 inches on the inlet side, 3 inches on the outlet side. And what do you say, John, about the 1,700, 18, and low 18s are making now with these Super Farms?
Yeah, they're right in that range, and they run the intercoolers on them. And the turbocharger technology, the injectors and the injection pump come a long ways in these tractors. Years ago, Super Farm had good horsepower, but had 750 horse.
Yeah. And then we thought 1,000 was a lot. And then,
Yeah.
it just kept going up and up. Economy class, right?
Yeah, yep, economy, yep.
All right, Minneapolis Bowling G1000. Good run right there for Dan Castenson. And now he will have to make that big decision whether or not he thinks that's going to be good enough to win it here tonight, or he can turn it down and come back later in the class. So there you go, fans, up on the big screen at the end of the track. You can see where that wheel separated.
I got a couple of chunks of the rim that he ripped out of the center of that wheel. Nick Gallis did. I had a couple shiny souvenirs down here that he ripped out of there. And you guys are right. You called me out on it. He didn't polish it so much that it got thin. It's still actually fairly sizable. So my theory's all gone on that one.
Well, we'll give you A for effort anyway. 257.59 for Nick Gallett's 257.59. Up next here out of Broadhead, Wisconsin.